Hey everybody, it's Sherry Joy Collier. I am here in my art studio in East Tennessee, and I wanted to do another painting in my art journal. And you can follow along. If you want to paint along, you can. Make it your own. Copy my colors. Whatever you want to do is great. And the most important thing for this exercise is the takeaway. The whole purpose of doing this art journaling page is to help us remember the Bible promises that God gives us. And today's Bible promise is God promises to give us comfort. So I want to read a few of the scriptures that jumped out at me, and I'm going to kind of put them all together and paint something. So the first verse is found in 2 Corinthians 1:3-4. Blessed be the God and Father of our Lord Jesus Christ, the Father of mercies and God of all comfort, who comforts us in all our affliction, so that we may be able to comfort those who are in any affliction with the comfort with which we ourselves are comforted by God. It's kind of a mouthful, but I like that verse. Then Psalm 119:50 speaks to the afflicted as well. This is my comfort in my affliction, that your promises give me life. That's obviously God is the you. Your promises give me life. And then Matthew 5:4, blessed are those who mourn, for they shall be comforted. And then last, but certainly not least, Matthew 11:28-30. And this is for those who are perhaps weary or exhausted, working hard to eke out a living and pay off all your bills. Matthew 11:28-30 is for you. Come to me, all who labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and lowly in heart, and you will find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light. So yes, those are the verses that are going to kind of amalgamate in my mind, and then I'm going to do a painting in my art journal. And I think what I'm going to do for this one is I am going to paint the background, and then I'm going to kind of leave a space for me to pick one of those verses and write it in when it's all dry. So I'm just kind of going to put embellishments kind of around the perimeter of the page today. So you can join along with me. Let me see if I can get my Facebook page up and running. So let's first of all, I'm going to move this camera. Let me show you something. Okay. I'm switching back to my inexpensive craft paints for this exercise today. And you can see I've got Apple Barn and Deco Art and just, I don't know, goodness. Yeah, I guess that's Craft Smart. And I just picked a bunch of colors because I kind of have in mind a direction. I don't know for sure where it's going, but I have a direction in mind. So let's see if I can't get this up here. Looking down over the painting. Okay, let's move this a little bit that way. And then let's just kind of move all the bottles out of the way now that you've seen the bottles that I'm choosing today. How are you today? And if you come on while I'm live on Facebook, I am going to upload this to YouTube later as well. But if you want to chime in, I am going to attempt to pull it up on my other laptop here. Not sure if I'll be able to though, so we'll see. The technology part is it's always been the hardest, and apparently it's still going to be hard. So I have not been able to figure out how to pull it up yet, so on my Facebook page. Okay, well, I will check from time to time. I will get up there and check for comments. But anyway, let's start with, I'm just going to go ahead and do a background. So let's get my handy dandy plate. I think I'll just start with kind of a nice thick brush here. and I'm gonna get it wet. And I'm just really thinking in terms of a very soft, pretty background. And so I'm gonna start with this Cameo pink. And like I said, I'm just gonna really kind of water it down and just do kind of a nice and easy, light, watery background. I don't want it to be too thick because then it won't dry while we're on here painting together. So the idea is to keep it light and thin. So I'm gonna add even more water here. Okay, let's really get this pink on. And I'm kind of envisioning already in my mind that I want the Bible verse to be somewhere right in the center of all of this. So I'm just making sure that I have enough pink on here to give that nice background for the verse. Okay, let's get that water back into the game here. Okay, and then I'll pull it down and keep that from being too thick. And these art journal pages, I just have so much fun with them because there's no rules. There's absolutely no rules. I don't have to make it for anyone to look at. This is just, for me, it's a way to help me memorize scriptures, or at the very least, if I don't fully memorize the scripture, it at least helps me memorize the Bible concept, the promise in this case. And I've dug out, studied and dug out a total of 8 Bible promises that I want to do these art journaling pages for. So if you want to join me for the future ones as well, keep an eye out. I will put a post up in Facebook with the date and the time that I'll be going live next. And it'll be sometime this week, but I have to kind of take a look at my schedule and figure out exactly when that's going to be. Okay, so now we've got our nice light pink background. I'm gonna just hop up real quick and see. Okay, we've got some greens here, and in my mind, I kind of wanted to do a whole bunch of greens and create different leaves. So I'm gonna put this marsh green on my plate. I'm gonna put this one. This is such a pretty one. It's I can only see the word cactus on it. I think there's another word, but the paint got all over it. So, and then I've got this Kelly green. I thought, let's get just several greens that are already pre-mixed. That takes a lot less time than if they are, and I'm gonna grab this apple tart too, than if they are in the heavy body tubes. Then you pretty much have to mix your own. And then I love this blue grass green as well. I'm gonna put a little bit of that on there. And then I'm gonna go for a brush that has a little bit of a slant to it, I think. Maybe not. Maybe we're gonna start with this brush. And I kind of have in my head this idea of just kind of trailing some stems and some leaves and just embellishing. So I'm just kind of going very loose, very free, not going for perfection here at all. Okay, so there's a good spot right here for a leaf. So I'm just going to pop a leaf in right off the bat. And then I'm going to pop another leaf right here. And I just am doing it extremely easy. Not going to spend a whole lot of time. So let's pop a leaf in right there too. And I think a leaf right there. So I'm just going to add kind of a bunch of these leaves. Just popping them in wherever I want. Not worrying too much about the shape even. Let's pop one in here, a small one. And that one has a stem. All right, and then this one down here, I'm going to go ahead and add little stems. And then we're going to put in our little leaves. And then I'm probably going to go over the tops of these leaves with the lighter greens. So we'll just get a kind of a general, very, very general shape. See how very general, like blobs, literally just blobs. Okay, let's see. I think well, I'm gonna add one even down here, just to balance things out a little bit, even though I don't have much of that pink background down here. I'll just pop a few on here. That's good. That's good enough. Okay, so I'm just gonna kind of wipe the marsh green paint off, and I'm gonna come in with my apple tart, and I'm just gonna kind of go right over the top and just see how I like that. Do I like that kind of just right over the top? Yeah, I kind of do. It is blending a little bit with the marsh green that's underneath, which is fine. But yeah, I'm kind of liking that. And I'll pop some in here and in here. Let's pop another leaf right down there. I'm just kind of going right over the top of the darker color and just playing around, seeing what's going to happen. So let me talk a little bit about what I'm going for. So because the Bible verses are about God's promise to comfort us, the reason I chose pink is a comforting color for me. I'm not sure why, but it makes me think of like soft blankies, maybe from when I was little. I'll bet you I had a soft pink blankie, is what I bet. Did anybody else have like a soft pink blankie? Or maybe yours was yellow or green or whatever. I think that's why pink popped into my mind for this Bible promise of God bringing us comfort. So that's why we're doing the background pink. Okay, so now that I've layered that on top of that, I want to come in and I want to change gears completely. I'm going to go with this cactus now. And I'm kind of envisioning the occasional, almost like eucalyptus leaf. They're more rounded. And let's just add like a little stem that kind of trails off. Trails right off the page. And then I'm going to pull a eucalyptus leaf right into here. Kind of just that rounded shape. And I think we'll put a little one right there. Little guy just poking right into the middle there. I just love eucalyptus trees. I don't know if you're familiar with them, but we had them in California when we lived in San Diego, Escondido area. We had a lot of eucalyptus trees. And the bummer about the eucalyptus trees is that they are not that strong. Their root system is not that strong, so they would quite often tip over during storms. But the smell is amazing. The eucalyptus smell. Does anyone here use eucalyptus essential oil. That can be really helpful to open up your chest when you have a cold. Okay, I'm going to kind of weave this stem around and off the page. So this is a eucalyptus stem. I'm just, as you can see, just kind of trying to get some different shades of green going. Different shapes of leaves tucked in here. I think I might, no, I think that's good. Let's wipe that off. Okay, now I'm gonna move to a completely different, let's go to our Kelly green. And I'm actually gonna come, pull like some little branches down from here. And let's put some smaller leaves. Okay, so this is the Kelly green. Let's put maybe a kind of a real skinny leaf. So getting some of these skinny leaves kind of draped up over the top. Then one thing I'm already thinking I'm going to do is I might go back in and pop some brown. Let's do this. I'm going to just plop that leaf right over the top of that leaf. And then we'll pull this leaf right down there. I'm thinking that this needs a third leaf. So my Bible verse can still fit in here. And I'm going to pull a couple of these down from here as well. So just some of these skinnier leaves poking in a few spots. Okay, so I've got all these greens going on. I'm going to wipe my paintbrush off. And let me hop up and see my phone and how things are coming along. They look good. Okay, let's get some of this beautiful bright blue. And I think I'm going to spark up some of these. So they just are a little bit boring. So if I spark it up, I'm just going to add a little layered color. And then the beautiful thing too is later when this dries, if I feel like it's all too many similar shades of green, I can come back in and layer right over the top more of other greens. Okay, this one ended up being pretty much covering that whole leaf. And I really didn't want it to be covered. I do want some of that green to still shine through. So let's pop a little bit of this right in here. And a little bit of this right in here. Okay, let's see, how are we doing? I think I'm going to wipe that off, maybe even get my brush clean. And let's go to a smaller brush, and I'm going to pull out my raw umber and pop that in on some of the stems. I really want to give a little bit of contrast. So there's these lovely little stems leading up to the leaves. Okay, so I'm just popping in some brown now. Let's pop some brown right there. Again, just kind of giving some different shades going on and some contrast. Okay, let me get my brush. Okay, I want to keep it kind of skinny, so I'm going to pull brown in on this whole little branch. And then maybe I'll pop in a little bit of brown on each little stem, just to kind of give some definition. To the stems. And then let's pull, where did our brown go? Let's pull that brown in here. There's our stems. I want to pull that stem in there a little bit more. Okay, that's good. Now on the eucalyptus, I'm just going to grab some white and I'm going to go in and plop a little bit of white. So let's grab this brush, going back to the brush that I used that had the greens on it. I'm going to mix a little bit of the eucalyptus color right on the plate. I'm going to mix it with the white. So we've got this really light eucalyptus now, and I'm just going to pop it in as the highlight. So just like a sunshine hitting that eucalyptus leaf highlight type thing. Okay, now we're going to mix a little bit more eucalyptus. Go with a less white tone. Actually, you know what? I'm just going to take straight eucalyptus on my brush because that's still wet. So I can kind of get the effect that I'm going for. Can kind of blend in with that white highlight. Hope that makes sense. So just straight into my eucalyptus, pulling that around. And let's grab a little bit more white and brighten that up. Just on the tippy tops. Just to try to give a little bit of highlight. And back into my eucalyptus to darken up that center a little. Okay. Good enough. Okay, now I want to add some pops of color. I'm kind of thinking these leaves don't look exactly the way that I want them though. So I'm actually going to go back into that original green, which was marsh green. And I am going to add the marsh green kind of back on and just kind of pull it along the outer parts of that leaf. And that way the center of the leaf can still be that apple tart color. Okay, let's pull this in. So then over here, we'll kind of do just a little parenthesis here. And let's darken this one up. Pull a little dark swoop into here and here. That was supposed to be a eucalyptus leaf, and I just turned it into a non-eucalyptus leaf. goodness sakes. Oh well, that's okay. We'll leave her be. Let's pop some of this marsh green back into this leaf. And a little bit more marsh green on that leaf. All right, I think I'm gonna leave these alone now. Let me go back into my straight eucalyptus actually, because I can see that it's not quite the way I want it. Now I'm gonna add a little bit of the white. So just blend, I'm just gonna blend that in a little bit more so it's not all so solid. Let's pull a little bit of the straight eucalyptus into here and into there. I think I'm gonna pull this one back into a eucalyptus leaf. So I'm putting it on super thick, so it's gonna take forever to dry, but that's okay. Okay, so there's my eucalyptus. Now I'm just gonna come in and put some dots. I don't know why, just want to. So some eucalyptus colored dots. Just here and there. Let's pull some right here. I'm having so much fun with these dots. I'm gonna end up with just like a ton of them, I suspect. And I'm liking this kind of motif of 3. But that kind of, I didn't like how that came out. So I'm actually gonna wipe my brush off and dip straight into my pink and just go right over those. I'll fix that later. Oops. Gotta get a little bit of pink back on my brush. Okay, there's that pink. Okay, now, last but certainly not least, I'm gonna add some straight white. Do I want white or do I want, you know what? I think I'm gonna try some of this antique white. Let's plop some of this antique white on our plate. And I'm gonna do, let's grab kind of a brush that is a little spread apart and messy. It's the only way I know how to describe what I'm trying to do here. So let's try this. And kind of, I'm thinking like baby's breath almost. I want them rough. I don't want them round. Hopefully that makes sense. Okay, let's put some over here. Kind of rough. Let's put a few, where else do I want them? How about one right here? One down there. One over here. Let's put one right here. And one right there. Let's see. Let's throw one down here and over here and up here. Okay, that's good. Now I'm going to take a little bit of that burnt umber that was on my plate and I'm going to mix it with the cream. And I'm going to come in, I mixed it too much. I'm going to come in and darken just a hint of that darker paint to kind of plop shadows on these baby's breath. a little bit of contrast in this baby's breath. I think I got them all. I might actually, nope, I'm gonna call that quits. Okay, now what I'm gonna do, now I want my pop of color. And so I'm gonna switch to peony pink. So peony pink, that'll come over here on my plate. And I'm just gonna do some buds, I think, little buds. And I'm gonna start with this brush and see how it goes. So these buds, they can just kind of pop in, just kind of in some unexpected places. So I'm just pulling in these little, they could be rose buds, they could be tulip buds, kind of just a nondescript bud. But it's giving me a pop-up color that I haven't had in here just yet. All right, let's pull one out here too. And some of them might even have little opening petals, like that one. And we'll pull one in over here. And let's pull one down here. Maybe one comes in over here. So I'm just kind of poking them in wherever I feel there could use some color. I'm gonna pop another one in somewhere. Let's do one right here. So all these little buds just kind of draping down into the picture here. I think we'll put one over here too. Where do I want it though? I think I want it right here. And maybe one right here. Okay, now I'm going to take this same brush and I'm going to go into, which green do I want? I think I'm going to go into my cactus green. And now I'm going to kind of begin to plop the little green parts on the base where the flower would have be connected to a stem. Alrighty, so plopping in some of this cactus green. Just along that stem area. Let's make this one coming down. Same thing, this one can be coming down into the picture. This one's going to be going that direction. And this one, where am I? This one's got a stem that's shooting off over here. Okay, this one's got a stem coming down from above. Same thing with this one. Also that. Let's see, do I have all of my stems in? I do not. There's one. Okay. I believe I have them all stemmed. Let's just add a little bit of a actual stem. So not just the leaves, but an actual little stem. This one's coming from above, so it doesn't need one. This one's coming from here, so I got that one. Okay, now let's see. I'm also feeling a little bit of a need for some yellow. This is Sunbeam. And I don't even know where I want it yet. I just feel like I want a punch of yellow somewhere in here. So I may take this brush that I did the baby's breath with, and let's see if we can't pop in. Let's just do some straight on, you know, little flowers. And I can tell already it's not showing up that great with that pink background. So I'll have to come and I'll have to add a little bit more depth to this yellow flower. Let's pop one in there. Let's pop one down here. How about one right here? Alrighty, and one over here. I think we need one down here too. I'm not even gonna add leaves on these. These are just gonna be kind of free floating yellow flowers. Let's put one down here. And let's pop one up there. Okay, now I'm gonna get, I tell you what, I'm gonna mix just a little bit of that pink over here with my yellow and come up with kind of an orangey color. And then we'll just add our little bit of shadow. So kind of a center and a few swipes. Let's see, what did I do with that orange? Okay, so a center and just a few swipes around. Just adding a little bit of something, something. I keep losing where I put it. Okay, just plop that in there. Smush it around. Let's pop some in there, and in here, and in here. And plopping some down in there. Let's give it a center. Okay, now I'm going to come back into my yellow, and where I put out way too much of that peach, I'll just pop a little yellow dot back in to yellow it back up, if that makes sense. Because I do want it to pop. I don't want it to fade into that pink so much. So I think I'm gonna stop there, and look at what I did. I left hardly no room for the verse. So I'm gonna have to write pretty small, which is fine. That's totally fine, because it's just in here for me. So now I'm gonna let this dry. If I want to later, I may come in and add white highlights in a few spots, but I may not. I may just leave it just as it is. Now let me show you. I have several different markers. So I have these acrylic paint markers, and I could choose a color that is kind of goes hand in hand with what I got. I don't think so though. I could do gold. That actually might look really good. I could do silver too. Let's see. black, blue. I don't think I'll do blue. I could do orange. Nah, I don't think I'll do orange. I think it's probably going to be copper. Look at what I also have. I have these Sharpies, and this one is copper and this one is gold. So I might actually take the copper. I'm kind of liking that copper color for writing the verse in there. But I'm not going to write it until all of this dries. Otherwise, I'm going to get it all over my arm. And I haven't even decided if I'm just going to write a little portion of the verse or if I'm going to write the whole verse. But I think I'm going to choose the one that says to, let's see, where'd it go? Okay, I think I might put this one. So, and I might paraphrase it and say, our Lord Jesus Christ comforts us in all our affliction. So I may squish it down and just put that phrase in, because that'll be a little bit easier to do. So anyway, this has been Sherry Joy Collier, and I have been showing you just this fun little art journaling project. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you'll do one. And if you do, let me know. Put in the comments below that you made one and what verse you chose to inspire you, and let's keep doing this. So the next one will be a different Bible promise from God to us, and we'll see which one that is next time. So I will put up an announcement, and you can keep an eye on Facebook for that. Okay, thanks so much for watching. Bye, everybody. Sherry Joy Collier signing off.